Shabbat Shalom again, Mishpukah. This is Brother Kazaki Reish. I want to just share a topic, very brief topic tonight on the subject of the rapture. Now, there's tons of people who teach this doctrine concept called rapture. We're going to deal with it from the scriptural perspective and not necessarily from a historical perspective, so we can have full understanding of the rapture. What does the scripture have to say? Does the scripture justify or support a rapture, or is it something that people have taken and have taken it in their own accord and made their own doctrine and teaching out of it? Now, let's look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15 through 18. That's where most people start with this concept and teaching of the rapture. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15 through 18, it says, "For this we say, that you by the word of Yah, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Messiah shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Messiah himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Elohim. And the dead in the Messiah shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Messiah in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Messiah. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." Now that part right there I just read, where they said that we shall be caught up. That is the word that people use to snatching or catching away. That has no support to say that it is a rapture. It's saying that there's going to be a catching up, but not a rapture to go into heaven for 7 years or whatever, as it's taught, away from the system while the world is being judged. So he says, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50 through 58. Let's look at another scripture that is used to justify or to support rapture, the false concept of rapture. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50 to 58, they read this: "Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Elohim, neither doth corruption inherit corruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." Now, so they're saying that we are going to be changed. The trumpet is going to sound at the last trump. Now, understand this much, Israel. The scripture says last trump. What does the last trump mean? It means the last trump. In the book of Revelation, we're not going to turn there for the sake of time. Revelation talks about 7 trumpets. So the Messiah is going to come after the last trumpet. Just what it said, the last trumpet. 7 trumpets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trumpets will be the last trumpet. He's going to come on the last trumpet, not on the first trumpet, not on a separate set of trumpets, but the last trumpet in the sequence of the 7 trumpets. Now watch this. So now we look at that. Revelation tells us that. Zechariah chapter 9 verse 14 through 17 also tells us that Yah himself is going to blow the trumpet. Now, let's look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 1 through 17. And it reads, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Master Yeshua, the Messiah, and by the gathering together unto him, that we be not soon shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of the Messiah is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a great falling away." Once again, those theological teachers use that phrase falling away as catching away as far as to rapture. We haven't seen a rapture anywhere in the scripture so far yet, that word rapture. Now, let's continue. "Let no man deceive you," verse 3, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, "For that day shall not come except there be a falling away, a defection from truth." That's what falling away is, a defection from truth, not a rapture caught up into heaven. And he says that let no man deceive you, that by no means, for the day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called Yah, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yah sitteth in the temple of Yah, showing himself that he is Yah. That's powerful right there. Now, let's look at another place in scripture. Matthew chapter 24. Chapter 24, verse 29 through 51 says, immediately after the tribulation of those days. Now, the Messiah, Yeshua, tells us when he's going to come for his called out ones, for those people that are come under the covenant of Israel, who are born and washed in the blood of the Mashiach. Now, watch this. He says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall he appear, the Son of Man, in heaven. And then he shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, with power and with great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now, Mishpokah, what's hard to understand about that? Matthew chapter 24 tells us that after the tribulation, the Messiah is going to come with that trumpet. He's going to gather his elect from the four corners after, not before, after the last trump. That trumpet is going to sound after the tribulation. Not a time before, and not a time after. As I close this session, the passage that was used to support rapture and the scripture doesn't have any leg to stand on, because it says, we just read, that the Messiah himself said immediately after the tribulation shall the trumpet sound. He's going to gather the four from the four corners of the earth. And that's when it's going to happen. Not before, not after. So ain't going to be no rapture of people being taken up by the millions into heaven. It ain't happening. It's not prophesied. Shalom.